Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today I want to be discussing a team composition, as you can tell by the title of the video, that I absolutely love to play in ranked. Now, to preface this, I want to say that it probably works best on control point, but I have actually seen it work really well on attack escort maps as well. So I just want to jump into it. I love playing the 3 DPS dive comp. Now, there's a couple of reasons why, and I'm going to get into that in just a minute, but I want to talk about different variations of the 3 DPS dive comp and what it does and how it works and why it is actually somewhat viable, at least in my eyes. Now, the 3 DPS dive comp definitely revolves around Winston. Now, Winston being the #1 tank anybody thinks about when you think dive, he has insane mobility, he's got a nice shield, he's got a good ultimate that kind of heals him and stalls and has a good knockback, and he's just an insane character. Winston's actually pretty nuts right now. And so you're gonna want to run one Winston, guaranteed. If nothing else, this is the #1 hero you have to have. Now, I do have healing preferences with the 3 DPS dive comp. My particular preference is that you always have to have a Lucio. I mean, if you're running dive comp, you're going to want the speed boost. So I think Lucio's a pretty standard hero to run in dive comp as well. And I think Ana or Zenyatta work really well. Now, the purpose of the 3 DPS dive comp, I guess I'll go ahead and jump into that, is the fact that you are throwing yourselves at the enemies and you're doing so much damage so quickly. It's got to be one cohesive movement, and you just want to wipe the field with them. Now, the reason I think this works better than just running a standard Reinhardt and standing behind him and kind of doing the shield-to-shield battle or doing shield defense or shield offense to dive comp kind of a fight is, I think it's better because you really bombard them. And in an online situation where the teams aren't professional players, the coordination's not quite as high on the ranking ladder as it would be in professional play. You're throwing a lot of damage at people that cannot react in the best way possible. So, to jump back into the team composition, I love running, my particular favorite dive comp is Tracer, Genji, Winston, Lucio, Zenyatta, and Soldier. Now, the Soldier actually can be changed out with a few different picks. Honestly, it sounds crazy, but I really like Mei in this kind of a composition because she can help control on control points pretty well, and she's just annoying, you know what I mean? But Soldier, McCree, honestly, even a Pharah, if you want to decide to take the triple DPS dive comp into Pharah Mercy, but you might lack a little bit of healing on the ground with that. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend that, but you could run a solo Pharah and have her fly around as well. Again, my favorite thing about it is that you're taking a not super coordinated situation like the ranking ladder where there's a lot of duo queues, tri queues, 4 queues in the majority of my games, and you're throwing a very overwhelming amount of damage and dive and cohesiveness with the jump. And that's the most important part about the strategy about the dive comp. You have to jump in at the same time. The Winston probably going to be leading the charge. You want to make sure that you really hammer down some damage. And the greatest part about it, and the reason I even bring this up, is because it works a lot in my games that we just happen to have the comp, but the greatest part about it is that you really don't need that much coordination other than making sure you all dive together. Because with that much damage, with a Soldier sitting mid-range, doing a lot of damage or popping ultimate, with a Genji Tracer flanking the backline, looking to kill the McCree, the Soldier, the Zenyatta, Mercy, Lucio, whatever the case may be, the tanks don't have that much disruption to stop it. And the healers don't have that much self-sustain and cohesion with their team to prevent that kind of damage. Now, I will say there are obviously counters to it. Roadhog is a pretty solid counter if he can land a hook on it. And, you know, there are ways to beat it. There are professional meta and professional players and teams and groups and strategies that will definitely counter this composition, but I think it's an amazingly strong tool. I think it's something that needs to be tested in the online ladder. I think it's something we're going to see more. Definitely something that I view as stronger than the triple tank lineup with Soldier and 2 healers. You just really lack a lot of damage, and while you raise the health pool, it's not as overwhelming. It's just kind of annoying and takes a little bit longer to beat. So thank you guys so much for checking out this video. Please don't leave without leaving a like. Let me know if you have any experience or what your thoughts are on a triple DPS dive comp with Winston, and I'll see you guys for the next video.